What is up, you guys? It's Darron or DeRay here, and today, you guys, for this week's video, I am going to be answering all of your questions regarding college. I asked you guys a few weeks ago to ask me some questions regarding college, so I will be debunking all of that today. I've been in college since August. It's November right now. And also, happy Thanksgiving. This is a very special Thursday of the year. It's a time where we give thanks to our loved ones, give thanks to everybody, and I'm here to say I am thankful for all of you. Thank you so much for supporting me, Darron Nation. I really do appreciate it. Now, without further ado, let's get started with all of these questions. Okay, so the first one is, how do you afford college? Any tips on financing? Future college student here. Alright, so this is how you could potentially afford college. I would say what my family did is we looked into scholarships. We applied to a lot of scholarships. I can't even count how many we've applied for, but we've applied for many scholarships. And also, financial aid is also a way people save money in college. So I would say get into applying for scholarships and looking into FAFSA, financial aid. And a lot of colleges, they do offer ways to make college more affordable. At least with my college, they do. Because, you know, college is not cheap. It's very expensive. A lot of tuition is extremely expensive. And also, another way we save money for college is hosting a graduation party. Guys, when I hosted a graduation party, I got so much money. Like, y'all, I got maybe $1,000, maybe even slightly more than $1,000. But that all went towards my dorm essentials. Y'all saw the video where I went to the store and shopped for my dorm and gave y'all a dorm tour. All that money paid for that. That also went towards my textbooks, and it also went towards, I believe, a little bit of tuition as well. So I would say have a grad party, get into scholarships, and looking into financial aid. Those are ways that you can save money. Alright, so the second question is, how many girls or guys you have in a dorm every night? Alright, so I don't know if this is asking me if I bring girls into my dorm and chill with them or whatever, but if it isn't, and it's asking how many people can room in a dorm, so you can have one other roommate or two other roommates. So it could be 2 to 3 people in a dorm, or you don't even have to room with people. You could room by yourself, but it will cost you more. So yeah, and regarding if I bring any girls in a dorm, I do have a female friend, and my roommate also has female friends that come to the dorm and chill out. So females do be coming into our dorm, but we're just friends. That's it. Alright, this one is a weird question. Is, do you go with your roommate or in a community shower? I do neither. I don't do any of those things. Why would I go in a shower where there's other stalls with other guys in them? Why would I go while my roommate is in the room? Why would I do that, period? I don't do that. That's a pretty weird question. Another question is, how does it feel to be in college? It feels like you're a grown-up in a sense, because you're not with your parents anymore. You're by yourself. You're responsible for getting yourself up and getting ready for class. You're the one responsible for taking care of your room. You have to make sure it's clean. Your parents aren't going to nag you on to clean your room. I treat it as if I'm living in my own apartment. I treat my dorm like it's my own space. Even if I'm rooming with somebody, I treat it as if I'm paying rent, and I just make it seem like I'm an adult. So I would say the feeling of being in college is the feeling of being a grown-up, in my opinion. But overall, college is pretty good in my opinion. I really enjoy college. I enjoy being independent because I'm pretty independent, period. And I feel like college gives me that room to be a lot more independent. So yeah. Alright, so this person asked a few questions and put it all in one response on the Google form. So I'm gonna go through them right now. Okay, so how to get a scholarship. So getting good grades is a way to get a scholarship. They have scholarships for African Americans, Latinos, I think Asians. Y'all, you can get a scholarship for almost anything. You could get a scholarship for being a first generation student. You can get a scholarship for good grades, obviously, or just being black or white or whatever. People get scholarships for almost anything. A lot of organizations host scholarships. Taco Bell had a scholarship, Walgreens had a scholarship. So just look into those places or look into those scholarships so you could potentially save a lot of money. I'm telling y'all, get into scholarships. If you don't apply for scholarships, you're going to end up paying a tremendous amount of money for college. Please remember to look into scholarships. how much is to buy food from college? So at my college, I get a meal plan, and my parents added like, I think 10,000 meals. So like every time I swipe my card for like breakfast, lunch, or dinner, that's one meal taken away. So I think I have like 9,000 meals left. And also, one thing that I get from my college is I think I automatically got like $30. So I could use that at other places in college, because my college doesn't just have a dining hall. It also has like a Starbucks. There's also another cafe near like the dorm area. So if you're worried about paying too much for food, just tell your parents to get you a meal plan and put a limit of how much you can have. Another one is, what's the thing to focus on in college? So the thing to focus on in college is obviously your grades, and I would say keeping your dorm clean, because that's just basic knowledge. You wouldn't want to live in a nasty room, would you? So keep your dorm clean. Also, making sure you get up in time. Keeping yourself accountable is what I would say is the focus in college. Making sure your grades are up to date. Making sure your room is clean. Making sure you go to class, because if you don't go to class, that's on you. And I would also say, hang out with the right crowd of people. There are a lot of things that could happen in college. Like, if y'all pay attention to the news or anything, a lot of stuff goes down at like college frat parties. I don't go to a school that has a fraternity or a sorority, so I don't have to worry about that. But also be careful, because things like that can happen. So the main thing I want y'all to know is hold yourself accountable and be around the right crowd of people. And then this other person said, how many teachers slash professors you got and how many hours? Okay, so I have a total of 6 professors. One class, I have 2 professors, and then the rest of the 4, I have 1 each professor. So I have a professor for a class called Identity, Culture, and Community. I have 1 professor for my speech class. I have a professor for my documentary class. I have a professor for it was like called Wellness for Life, but I don't take it anymore. And then I also have a professor for my theater class. So I have 6 professors. And how many hours? So on my first class is 50 minutes on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. My second class is also 50 minutes. And then on Tuesdays, my first class now is an hour and 15 minutes. But then my other class was at 8 a.m. and it was 50 minutes. So it's between like 50 minutes to an hour. That's how long my classes are. And then I have a night class that's 2 hours and 30 minutes. Y'all, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I don't look forward to that class. Like every night I have to go to that class, I'd be like, oh my god, I don't want to be here. But the benefit of it is that it's only one night. It's one day. It's on Thursdays. So, and I'm also almost done with the semester, so I won't be taking that class anymore. And then another question is, do you have any favorite teachers? I actually do have favorite teachers. My favorite teachers are my theater teacher and my speech teacher. Those 2 are my favorite. They're really nice. They're very sweet. They make me feel comfortable when I go to the class. And I overall just have a good time, to be honest. I'm gonna miss having them. Alright. Another question is, do you really like your roommate? As a friend, of course. We get along pretty well. He's actually planning on moving out next semester. So I'm gonna be getting a whole new roommate. He's gonna be rooming with his other friends, which honestly, go right ahead. I don't have a problem with him. Him and I are chill. We probably won't talk to each other as much because we won't live with each other. But if I see him in the hallway, I'll probably say like hey to him. But overall, yeah, I got along with my roommate pretty well. Here's a question that is pretty good and is, so any bullying happening? Okay. I have a story I need to tell y'all, and I need to tell y'all this story is completely crazy. Alright, so this is during like September, October-ish. So I was friends with this one person. I'm not gonna say any names because I don't want that mess right now or ever. So I was friends with this one person, or at least I thought I was friends with this one person. And my friend is also friends with that one person. So basically it was a friend of friend. We kind of established us as a group. So it would be me, my friend, the friend of friend, and then another guy who's my friend. So it was 4 of us. And the 4 of us would typically hang out. We would usually be in my dorm room. It would be like late at night. It would be like maybe 8 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock at night. And we would just chill out, hang in my dorm room, talk about stuff. And it would be fine. But then I started to notice weird things happening. Like in the beginning, they did do weird things. Like they would blow us off, me and my friend. And then they would also come up with excuses, or at least I think these were excuses. I don't know if they were actually valid, but they would be like,
oh, I gotta do my homework, I gotta do this, I gotta do that.
Pretty much just bailing out on us. And it was always whenever I was around. Whenever I was around the friend, they didn't want to be around me. And so, just one particular time, I had enough with all the hoopla because I heard that they were saying stuff behind my back, like saying that I was gay or whatever, or also saying that I'm dating my friend, and then also saying stuff like,
oh, you guys leave me out.
Making it seem like that me and the friend were leaving her out, which is not true at all. And I was just like, you know what? Maybe I just need to have a conversation with them because clearly there's an issue. And they're not saying it to me, they're saying it to the friend. So on this one particular night, I had established all four of us to hang out. I already told my friend I was going to talk to her. So I go speak to her. I take her to my dorm. I asked her to close the door so we could have a private conversation. And I said, do you think we leave you out? And y'all, when I tell you, she had the most guilty face. She was like she was confused. She was confused on why I was asking that. Why are you confused? But that's what you're saying. That's what you're telling my friend, who's also your friend. That's what you're saying behind my back. And then she gets all like scared and she's like,
I didn't mean it. If that's how it seemed, like, I'm sorry, that was not my intention.
And I was like, okay, well, if you feel that way, maybe you should tell the group instead of just telling her, because y'all, when we would hang out, it would usually be me or my friend establishing the hangout, being like, oh, we should go hang out in my dorm, or we should hang out in her dorm, or we should hang out here or there. It was mostly me and my other friend. So I took that as offensive because I'd be the one, for the most part, saying, let's hang out in my dorm. And when she said that it wasn't directed towards anybody, I did not really believe that, because if it was directed towards nobody, why did you only talk about it with the friend? I strongly believed that it was towards me and didn't want to be, and she didn't want to admit that because her friend is also my friend. And so I thought the conversation was over. Back to me like having the conversation and finishing that. I thought it was over. I thought we resolved the issue. And she comes and sits in my roommate's futon. And my friend and my other friend are in there. The group. All of us are in the dorm. We're chatting it up. And she's like talking. We're laughing. And I'm thinking everything's okay. I believe this was probably around, I don't really remember. I think it was like late September, early October. And it was like a Thursday night. And then the next day, I went home for the weekend, and then I went back Sunday night, and that's when my friend told me that she was hysterical, saying stuff like he was being weird. She thought it was weird that I wanted to talk to her privately because I asked her to close the door. But y'all, if you don't want anybody else to hear your business, because mind you, the hallways echo, like the hallway walls, they echo. Like I could be laughing like this and the whole hallway would hear it because that's how bad the echo was. I didn't want anybody hearing our conversation and then saying that I talked to her some type of way. I didn't talk to her any other type of way. I was upset. Dang right, I had every right to be upset. But I didn't degrade you. I didn't tell you to hurt yourself. I didn't tell you you're ugly. I didn't tell you you were this. I didn't tell you you were that. So why all of a sudden you want to act like things are bad, but you was just laughing in my room, talking to me as if we're friends? I was very, very, very upset by that. And then also she said these words, and what triggered me the most is what she said. She said,
I'm honestly thinking about telling somebody about how he treated me.
And guys, you're probably thinking, well, doesn't sound like anything bad. Maybe she'll just tell a friend. No, guys, that's not what she meant by telling somebody. She meant she was going to probably tell maybe the dean. I don't really know. But she meant she was going to tell somebody of higher authority. So I took it as that, and I felt like she was going to tell on me. So the next day, I scheduled a meeting to talk with the RD, the residence dean, because we stay in the dorms. And I explained my story to him. I told him exactly what happened that night. I was very upfront and honest about the whole situation. And obviously, they can't really do anything because it's just he said, she said. It's just blah, 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 blah. Like nothing physical happened. And I remember I had told him, if she comes and reports me, you have my story first. I said that because the one thing that I'm not going to let happen is somebody lie on my name and make up a narrative that's not true about me, because I was nothing but nice to her and I was nothing but inclusive. Even when she was not there, I was always asking where she was. I was always asking my friend, where is she at? Why isn't she here? What is she doing? I was always like that. And then when all this stuff came back to me, I was really confused because I thought we had solved the issue. Come to find out, she was dang near crying the next time and just overly dramatic. Like, bro, it's not that big of a deal. And then my friend said, oh, she can't handle confrontation. Okay, well then don't say things behind people's backs. And then when they find out, don't be surprised when they confront you. Because if you're going to talk about me behind my back and I'm assuming you're my friend, I'm going to confront you about it. Point blank simple. Don't say nothing behind my back bad, and don't expect me not to call you out on it. She brought that upon herself. If you're going to talk about me, and I'm going to ask you about it. Point blank simple. It's not about confronting. It's about knowing the truth. Because if you're sitting in my dorm laughing, acting like we're friends, then you're going to the friend and saying stuff that's fake. That's borderline like bullying. So in the end, she tried to make me look like the bad guy. This is what I believe. She's jealous of the fact that me and the friend, who is also her friend, were closer, and we're still closer. And so what I believe is that she tried to tarnish my friend and I's friendship because she was jealous that we got along better than her and the friend did. That's what I believe is what happened. So that's the only really major thing that's happened. Nothing else. No bullying. Other than that situation, nothing really happened. But yeah. Anyways, another question is, how's the food? The food is garbage. It's not that good. At times it'd be good, but for the most part I get myself like McDonald's or something else. Or I just don't eat. I can't be a liar in this situation. The food is not that good, y'all. It's really not. Breakfast is like the only food that's always been good. Always been good. The breakfast has always been good. But lunch and dinner be so trifling, so nasty. I don't even be wanting to go to lunch because the only thing I would pretty much eat is pizza because all the other food would be disgusting. So yeah, the food is nasty. And y'all, I don't even think I went to lunch or dinner this week or breakfast. Yeah, I didn't. Anyways, and the final question is my body count in college. 0. Nobody. I have not done it anybody in college. I don't plan on doing it with anybody in college. But anyways, those are all the questions that I have this week. I hope y'all enjoyed this video. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope you're enjoying all the delicious turkey, the delicious pie, the delicious cranberry sauce, the delicious macaroni and cheese. And I will see you guys, not next Thursday, but I will see you guys next Monday on December 1st for Vlogmas. See y'all on Monday. Bye, guys.